We were still drilling people's brains and going, we'll just take a little bit out. We'll just take a little off the top. Just take a little off the top.
That's kind of
Yeah, it's not great.
Wild Til 9! Are you ready?
Yep, let's go home.
I cannot recommend Etsy enough that if you're looking for something unique and personal as a gift this year, run, do not walk to Etsy.
Etsy has everything for all budgets and any gifting mission.
New to Etsy, use the code HOLIDAY10 for 10% off your first purchase. That's code HOLIDAY10. Maximum discount value of $50. Expires December 31st, 2023. See terms at etsy.com/terms. For handcrafted and affordable gifts for everyone on your list, Etsy has it. Shop etsy.com.
Welcome back to Wild Til 9.
Welcome back to the pod.
I'm so excited for tonight's episode.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feels like a good vibe.
Feels like I got EP vibes, gonna be honest. I'm a little EP.
Is that like a U word or is that a word? Okay.
I feel like EP is circulating.
It's ruminating.
It's circulating.
Percolating.
Yeah, it's
permeating.
It's percolating.
Okay.
Yeah.
It hasn't quite come to a boil yet.
Right.
Anyway, stop, drop, roll, rate the pod. In fact, if you have not rated the pod at this point, please do so. Subscribe, like, all the things so that Lauren can feel awake enough to do the podcast with me again.
I play Wordle every single day, and New York Times has a new game called Connections. It's like not actually that new, but it's like a little new. And so I also play Connections every day. And I also feel like I'm one of like the last few of the Wordlers. Like I feel like that was such like people were Wordling hard, and most people have fallen off. But my family group chat, Wordle's hard. And Connections, I think it was yesterday, is essentially there's 16 words, and they're all, I think I've showed you, it's like a grid of 16 words, and you have to group them into
It's not easy.
Groups of 4. And so it can be grouped by, like, for example, I'll give you, since obviously I can't even do a spoiler since it'll come out in like a week or whatever, but like today, the words were connected by synonyms for ignite, other words for information.
Okay, so like, what are they? Give me the...
So ignite was burn, kindle, light, and torch.
Okay, those are all, I see that.
Okay, but then the other category was small wooded area, a dell,
Okay.
glen, hollow, and valley. And this is where things get confusing.
They missed holler, by the way.
I thought a holler was in between. I didn't necessarily think it was a small wooded area. That's not what I think of when I think of a holler. I think of like in between like mountains.
With a little bit of shade.
Yeah.
And some trailer
And then
parks.
the last one was things with cores. Apple core, computer has a core, planet has a core, and a reactor has a core. But like in my mind, when I see Apple, Dell, Intel, like those were all 3 in different categories. So anyways, it's very difficult. Whereas going with this was the other day, one of the categories was like, follow, subscribe, and comment. Those are the 4 the 4 words. And I was like, beep, 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 beep. And it was my first one correct. Because I was like, that is so ingrained in my brain.
Those, I could spend 3 hours on that every day. That's why I can't play it.
Oh.
I'd either just like, fuck it, whatever, send it, or like I would obsess over it.
Yeah.
That could ruin my day most days.
That could derail your full day.
Because I would be ready to argue. I would need someone to get on the other side and go, all right, I have a few questions as to how we got here. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys didn't think about everything all the way through.
Right. This one, like, I feel like Wordle, there's an ounce of luck to it because, you know, you just don't know what the word's going to be. But this one, I feel like needs a little more brain power.
I remember my first philosophy professor in college gave me like a C or something, like not like an F, but not an A or B. And I don't think by any means I put a ton of effort into this class, but I remember like
you thought it was worthy of a
it was
high.
like, but it was like at the end of the test, like the first test. It was like the first, like we're filling each other out.
Okay.
How do you grade your shit? And I remember I just like walked, was like, hey, just like wanted to like confirm, like, are you like someone who doesn't like I guess believe that there should be more than like 1 or 2 A's in the class, or like how is your rubric? Because I'm just looking at the way that you graded my papers.
I cannot imagine the pain in the ass that you were as a student.
And I remember she was because like she was of course a graduate student.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, what do you mean? I was like, well, I felt like your answers back to mine almost kind of reflected on, I don't know, it just didn't seem like you really disagreed with my points, yet the score didn't really seem to merit what
you would be enraging.
I'm not kidding. The rest of the class got A's, B's and A's. Like
she probably was just like, you know what, bump this kid's grade up a little bit. I don't want to hear his shit. I don't want him back in my office on office hours.
I was like, I smell vulnerable. I smell new at this.
Oh my God, Jeremy. Jesus.
I'm sure she's a doctor of philosophy now somewhere,
I'm sure she's killing it.
teaching someone a lot less painful.
Yeah, no, I'm sure she is. I'm sure she's.
You ever take philosophy?
I took a philosophy class around gender once.
Okay. Gender studies?
Yeah, like a gender studies class. It was pretty good.
Okay. Did you learn anything of note?
It's been so long.
I can't
and honestly,
imagine
things have probably changed since. Like, I bet how they teach gender now is different than how they
So
taught
you're saying
it
philosophy. I was like
12 years ago.
Kant, Plato, they're like, they've changed since then?
No, but like, it was the philosophy of gender. It wasn't necessarily based in like old people things.
Welcome back to Wild Til.
I did accidentally take I took an astronomy class by accident, thinking I got it mixed up with astrology.
You couldn't tell me all the names of the planets not but a year or two ago.
When I tell you this class was so fucking hard. And it was an elective.
Wait, so you were trying to take astrology?
I was taking, okay, because there was this website, I don't know if it still exists. It's something, it was called like or like
RateMyProfessor.com.
No. It wasn't Rate My Professor. It was whatever, like similar to that was. It was like, is this a bird class? Yes or no? Essentially, what
is
it
this
was.
A what?
A bird class.
What
Like an easy class.
Are birds easy?
I actually don't know how that got connected to bird, but now that it's out of my mouth, I hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just, when somebody said that to you, you didn't ask any questions. You said, oh, is it a bird class?
Yeah. Like it was a thing like, oh, is that elective like a bird class? Is that an easy class? Is what it was like synonymous with. Anyways, I was like, oh, astrology, that'll be a super easy class. Like fucking horoscopes and shit. I'm a Leo. And I am stupid. And it was
Did everyone
astronomy.
bring your telescopes
And it
today?
was incredibly hard. And the teacher was incredibly mean. And it was awful. It was genuinely awful. Literally, I was like, I dug this grave and now I will lie in it.
I'm shocked you stuck with it.
I think that it was like too late, or like I had a great schedule where I maybe had like Thursday, Fridays off, and I was able to stack on my classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
You're such a Leo.
And I was like, I don't know if that's a very Leo thing to do. To be
I don't
honest.
know if that means.
Yeah.
There's not one part of me that knows anything about astrology.
Okay.
I do know some things about astronomy. I used to really fuck with space.
I love that for you, babe.
Yeah.
That's so.
And some like Roman versus Greek mythology.
Okay.
How that played into the planets and their names.
You know what? I feel as if you misled us when everyone asked how often you think about the Roman Empire. Because that contradicts a little bit about what you answered.
But I could also tell you the Greek mythology side of things.
So the Greek Empire.
Right.
People just,
I'm more of a-
we just weren't asking the
I'm
right
more
questions.
of a purist. Yeah. Oh, the
okay.
Romans? Oh, got it. You're more of a new fair kind of thing. Okay. Did you want to talk more about astronomy and astrology?
No, that's okay. I really came out of that class knowing nothing. I was trying to make it alive. She was one of those teachers that was so insane about people being on their phones that she would like scream your name.
In college?
Yes. It was crazy. And so like I'm someone who like picks at my hands, which is disgusting, but like I like pick at the skin around my cuticles. And if I was looking down, picking literally just like at my hands, multiple times she screamed my name. I almost shat myself. My heart was in my throat. And I would literally be like, I'm anxious. I'm picking at my hands. I'm so sorry. Like I don't know what to tell you. My phone is like in my bag.
Like, so, wow. That's interesting.
She would kick people out of the class for being on their phones. She was terrifying. Terrifying. Worst elective I ever took.
But also, like, not what I would imagine a class that is in such high demand that you can be a dick.
I don't know if it was necessarily in high demand, unless there was lots of other people who thought that it was going to be.
But like, how many people need to take astronomy?
Oh, not that many. But I think a decent amount of people went into being like, oh, fun, planets, bird class, Miss Frizzle.
Pluto. Is it going to be a planet? Is it a dwarf thing? Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, so anyways.
Where'd you get in it?
Oh, fuck, I have no idea. Gonna be honest, I excelled as a student, even though I don't excel in other areas of life. I excel as a student.
I believe that.
Yeah.
You're not like someone who's comfortable with being worse than others at something.
If I'm unprepared for something, I'm incredibly anxious and it destroys everything physically and mentally about me. And so I think that being anxious actually helps you study more and give you good grades because showing up for something unprepared is very anxiety driving.
When I tell you that I think I almost prefer being slightly unprepared, so that way I have to like pay attention.
That's an ADHD thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like you said that and I was like, boring.
Oh my God, no, like I've done the readings. I'm going to do the homework. I'm studying for the test.
I think there was at least a year there in high school where I'm not entirely sure I did homework.
That is so unhinged.
Right. And I graduated barely.
Oh man. I don't have anything to go into this, so I'm just gonna head on on into it.
Cold open, over.
Yeah. We're about to make Jeremy squirm so hard, and I'm
in.
Okay. Oh, great. You're in?
I have been doing the most mundane tasks for the last 36 hours. This is going to be so fun.
Oh, I'm so excited then. Okay, great. So I'm heavily considering getting laser eye surgery.
I think it's a great idea.
And there are 2 different kinds now. It started with just LASIK, but the newer technology is called PRK.
PRK?
PRK. And so I posted it on Instagram just to like survey people's experiences.
Wait, can I get that can't be the name.
Well, okay, so we're going to get into this. PRK. PRK stands for photorefractive keratectomy.
Wait, hold on. Keratectomy starts with a K?
Cara?
I would have said, okay. Yeah, I would have thought C.
Nope, it's a
Like CH?
photorefractive keratectomy surgery.
Correctomy. Oh, correctomy vision.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's all for today. We'll see you guys next week. Okay, so correctomy vision.
And so I wanna describe the differences between them. Here's where we're gonna squirm. So buckle up. Okay, primary difference between PRK and LASIK has to do with how the surgeon gains access to the corneal lens
Gains access.
Gains access.
Wait.
You got to get to the goo. You have to correct the goo.
Is your goo the problem? You got bad goo?
I got bad goo.
Really? Is that
know.
your problem?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't actually know what makes people have bad vision.
Well, I can tell you how you fix it, and then you can work backwards from there. So to reshaping it with an excimer laser. So in LASIK, a thin flap is made in the outer layer of the cornea, and the flap is lifted to expose the inner cornea, aka the goo. The stroma, aka the goo, replaced once the inner cornea is reshaped. They reshape the goo, put the flap back on, and then you can see.
I don't know.
How you doing?
Okay, so which one was that?
That's LASIK.
Okay, so they they just slice
Slice.
You know, like when you go to like a really good like sushi spot, and the guy behind the counter is like, he's just fucking. I mean, he's like an iron chef.
I think it's a little more similar to like if you ask for truffle, how much truffle do they want you to shave off? And because truffle is so expensive, they shave it really thinly.
Sure, but like you know, like the guy who's like,
No. More like I think when you go to a deli and they've got the electric slicer that slices the deli meat super, super thin.
just replace it with a laser.
Yeah.
Okay.
And your eyeball is the meat.
When I tell you, I'd rather just wake up with no eyes.
Jeremy has a fear, like if my irrational fear is vomiting and emetophobia, Jeremy's irrational fear is me holding sharp things and also anything eyeball related.
You know what's funny is I was thinking to myself, maybe it's like an entrance thing. Anything where like you could get into my body, I would like not be comfortable
because you ram a Q-tip into your brain from your ear.
Literally
So
that was the thing I was thinking. I'm like, because the thought of trying to make myself vomit, you know, some people can just like do it easily.
Yeah.
I could never.
That's
Never.
common though. That's common
Right,
because
like,
that's like an awful feeling.
But that, I'm afraid of my butthole, my like, you know, eyes.
That's a common straight guy thing.
Anything that like would get in to the other side of me, inside of me.
Okay, well, like how do you feel about the nose and the mouth? Feel like you feel okay about that.
Yeah, the nose has been fine. Keep going.
Okay, so during PRK, the outer surface of the cornea, the epithelium, is carefully removed by the surgeon before reshaping the inner cornea, and then the epithelium regrows after surgery.
I'm sorry.
Oh, shit! I don't think I knew that.
Is there a word for what you're saying that would make sense for people that don't have an MD? Like with the what is that? Is it like the goo again?
No, I think it's like the outer part of your eyeball, the outmost part. It's like they chop the shell off.
I know. I've had eyes for I don't even know how long, but I don't. Where does the outer stop and where's the what?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't have no idea. But I think this one's like they take they peel the shell off, they zap the goo off.
It's not a fucking
and
egg.
then the shell grows back.
Okay, so you hard boil the egg.
Okay, if the eyeball is an egg, LASIK is that we peel some of the shell off.
Okay.
You take the yolk out, and then you put the shell back on, and it heals.
And the yolk grows back?
No, the yolk. No, now I can see.
But okay, what's growing back on the egg?
No, that's PRK.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
No. LASIK, shell comes peeled back, pull the yolk out,
Right.
shell back on.
Okay.
PRK, slice the top of the shell off,
Okay.
peel the yolk back,
Uh-huh.
and the shell has to grow back.
Oh.
But they put it in the trash can.
But the yolk stays.
No, the yolk is gone. The yolk is the goo that makes you be able to not see.
Got it. Oh, okay. You got to clean your windshield wipers.
Yes.
Or your windshield.
Yes, literally.
Okay. Why don't you just say that?
Oh my God.
You know that I can't be anywhere near the room when this happens, right?
My dad watched when my mom got it done. So my mom got LASIK done years, like 40 years. No, wait, no.
Back when they used a scalpel and like a hammer.
Literally, no, because she got LASIK done. So it was just like when it was
Has
really
LASIK
new.
always been laser, I assume?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I feel
but like you gotta, if you look back far enough, I bet you find some unhinged shit. We used to just do like lobotomies not that long ago.
Yeah. Let's see. When was LASIK invented?
I mean, when did we stop doing lobotomies, show?
Oh, man, I was looking up LASIK, which was approved for use in 1999 and became popular in 2001.
Yeah, I think she got hers done. No, but because I don't remember her getting it done. So it might have been when I was either a small bebe or even before that. But she got hers done early.
We did stop doing lobotomies. The last one recorded in the United States was in 1967, which was not that long
Not
ago.
that long
is
ago.
kind of not that long ago.
We were still drilling people's brains and going, we'll just take a little bit out. We'll just take a little off the top. Just take a little off the top.
Damn, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah, it's not great. But you know what? Like, I feel like we're gonna look back in 50 to 100 years from now and go, they were still doing all of this dumb shit.
Yeah.
I think we're at peak stupid. Okay, so after reading all this,
So anyway,
how do you feel?
I reached out and I've actually posted almost this exact same thing before because I've considered laser for so long. And I don't have really, really bad vision. I also don't have an astigmatism.
You don't have good vision.
Oh, I don't have good vision, but I don't have bad vision to the point where I wear contacts every day. I wear glasses at the end of every day because I'm nearsighted, so I struggle to see far away.
Can you legally drive without glasses?
Yes.
Are you lying to me?
No, legally I can drive. There is not an X on my license that says I need glasses.
Hell yeah.
Because you do not want to get pulled over
No.
and not have glasses on.
Fuck no.
But like, do I drive with glasses at night? Yes, 100%. I can't see shit. But no, people have really, really, really bad vision, and I'm not one of those people. I'm really lucky. I see. I think my vision is also equally bad in both eyes, which also makes me, I think, an ideal candidate. I don't have astigmatism.
Don't you get like headaches when like one eye is better than the other?
Yeah, oh yeah, that can be really, really tough for people
I mean, I can imagine.
when one eye is like doing something totally different than the other eye. But so I've posted this before because I've gone back and forth because I don't wear contacts. I used to wear contacts all the time.
You?
Yeah, all through university I wore contacts every
You
single
wore
day.
contacts?
Every single day.
You know that I could never put a contact in, right?
Oh, you would rather die.
Oh, I just, whatever I needed to do to not
Yeah.
put that contact in,
Yes.
I would do it.
Yes.
I want you to know, I would push you, Moose, and Diggy right off the side of a cliff
Sometimes I get this TikTok
if it
ad
saved me from putting a contact in.
that has this little plunger, this little mini plunger that's the exact size of a contact, and they just like go whoop and they pop it on their eyeball, and it is so crazy.
Oh no.
I really struggled. I really struggled putting contacts in, and so I still did it every day, but like it was awful.
But like, I've seen either you licked Mia's eye or Mia licked your eyeball.
I've definitely made contact with Mia's eyeball with my tongue before
Right.
at a birthday party.
So what part did you struggle with?
I know I struggled literally with with opening my eye wide enough and my eyelids, I feel like not being stretchy enough. Because it's not an eyeball touching problem. I have no issue touching my eyeball. It's literally, I feel like a size. Like I almost wish they had like kid size contacts so that I could stick a smaller version in.
Aren't Aren't your eyes pretty much the same size your whole life?
I feel like it's a stretchy eyelid problem.
Do you have an eyelid issue?
I have an eyelid problem.
Why didn't you say so?
Yeah, I think anyways.
Okay.
So now I just live with...
Are contacts racist?
No, it's an eyelid problem.
Right.
Not. And
Got
it's like
it.
a me problem.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So many Asians have...
Tough eyelids?
No, wear contacts is what I was going to say.
Do you think that your eyelids are different than anybody else's?
I'm not sure. I struggle with getting contacts in, and I felt like I just couldn't open my eye wide enough.
Okay.
Anyways, you really threw me off with that one. So here was some of the feedback from people when I asked about it. I think
When and where?
on Instagram today,
The good people of Instagram.
the good people of Instagram, the good people of the IG,
What did you ask?
I would say 99.999% of people, both on the internet and people that I know in the real world, are share the same opinion that it is the best thing that they have ever done.
I'm looking for your post here.
So this person, best decision I ever made. I work in an ophthalmology clinic. Our patients love it. Two of my besties recently had it. Couldn't be happier. It's literally not even that painful. Super fast. Got LASIK done 2 years ago. A lot of people being like, can you please share the answers? Because I'm also considering it. It's crazy how many people have ass vision.
This picture of Moose and Diggy.
What?
Just their butts.
Yeah, they're butts.
It's great.
This person said, don't watch Final Destination 5.
Helpful.
Helpful. Thank you so much. Best decision I ever made, especially before my wedding. I'm so glad I did. And that's like what I think about. A couple things recently have inspired me to look into this seriously and book a consultation. One, my friend Jake and I were both not wearing contacts or glasses and awkwardly staring at each other, kind of both bumbling around trying to decide if we were the person that we thought the other person was.
Oh, I wish that you could see your face when you can't make out something.
Oh, we were maybe 6 cars away from each other in a parking lot, both squinting at each other, trying to figure out if I was like, is that Jake? And Jake was like, is that Lauren? And so then neither of us said anything because we both couldn't fucking see.
Actually, now that I think about it, maybe you shouldn't get LASIK.
Why?
Because I think it's a bit of a gift to be able to say something sarcastic or...
And I can't see your face from across the house. Yeah, you do that all the time.
Or something happens or whatever and
Jeremy will say something and I'll make a face no. I'll say something, you make a face and I'm like, I don't know what your face looks like, but I can imagine what it does.
Right. But I think it's a bit of a superpower that I can see better than you. So maybe you shouldn't get LASIK. Maybe I should be the eyes.
And then a couple days ago, I was walking the dogs and literally maybe 6 cement blocks of sidewalk ahead of us, there was a skunk and I didn't fucking see it. And I was like, oh my God, I want
you to know, if you 3 come back skunked.
Oh my God.
You're not coming back inside.
Oh my God. I literally don't know how, but it is officially the holiday season. October went by with a literal blink of an eye. And so it is time to warm the heart of your home, the kitchen. But let's sidestep the usual family debate on the best holiday movie ever with something Elf. With something everyone can agree on, introducing the culinary artists and beginner cook's new best friend, Caraway. And let me tell you, if there is a beginner cook to confirm this on behalf of beginner cooks, it is me.
So you're hosting first time, or maybe it's round 2 with the in-laws? Fear not. With Caraway's Squareware, that turkey's going from what if to nailed it. Caraway is a must-have in the kitchen of a first-time host or even cook.
Coming from, again, the literal most beginner cook in the entire world, I swear, it is me. I can vouch for the fact that Caraway has made everything easier. And let me tell you about their style. Caraway's kitchenware is so cute. They've got so many colors to choose from. I went with white because it fits our kitchen so well. I can leave them on the stovetop even just as some cute kitchen decor.
Caraway's home internet-famous kitchenware isn't just a pretty face. Each piece has a chemical-free ceramic coating that promises a pure taste, your carefully chosen ingredients cooked to perfection without any uninvited synthetic guests.
They also just launched their stainless steel cookware set. The same love, the same commitment to non-toxic excellence, now in stainless steel, that'll elevate your cooking game. It's the versatility you need with the sophistication you deserve and will surely impress your potential holiday guests.
I just love that it's easy to clean.
It's literally so easy to
that's stupid,
clean.
but, like,
no, but
it's
like that is
so-
like that's the number one.
Like
Again,
it look white pans if they were hard to clean would not work.
No,
like,
it's
wouldn't
not
work.
it. It's
Sorry.
not it.
But anyway, so as the holidays roll in, remember the secret to a fun and faux pas free feast is as simple as Caraway, where every dish tells a story and every meal is a memory.
over 50,000 people have raved about their Caraway kitchen. Now it's time to try it for yourself. Visit carawayhome.com/wild to take advantage of this limited time offer for up to 20% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners and will last long. So visit carawayhome.com/wild. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. And so anyways, it was like 4 sidewalk chunks up. And I was like, holy shit, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
I remember the time that we like were walking and the coyote was like right there, and you just could not see it. And I was like,
I just didn't see it.
Right there.
I literally just didn't see it. And so the idea of seeing everyone's faces at our wedding seems really, really nice.
Okay. All right. Well, that's adorable. So I'll just.
Were you gonna say something fucking snarky?
I was literally like, if you got sprayed by a skunk, but it looked back at you and you thought it felt bad about it, would you bring it home?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. No. You knew the answer to that before you even finished the question.
Yeah, no, you could have a pet skunk, couldn't you?
Yes, 100%.
You could even have a pet skunk that was only 90% discunked.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would live on the edge with that 10%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We basically do a diggy peeing in the middle of our bed.
Yeah, we're still recovering from that. Okay, so this person said my mom loved it. This person said, so I feel like the gist of the responses are that everyone says it was the best decision ever, wish they had done it earlier. And then the majority of the feedback, and I'm only sharing this because I got so many responses to this, so much engagement of people wanting to see the responses, because I think there's a lot of people that are like going through the same process, is that you have to stay so on top of like the medicinal eye drops after. It makes a huge difference in your healing.
Eye drops?
Eye drops.
After they've already cut a flap in you?
Jeremy is also violently scared of eye drops.
Can't do eye drops. Can't do eye drops. Eye drops to me, I mean, I understand now.
Eye drops feel so good.
Like,
I love the feeling of putting an eye drop in.
I don't know like what happened at Guantanamo, but like waterboarding can't be worse than putting in eye drops.
Do you need to see someone for this maybe?
Like the thought of just things entering through my eyes?
But it's not entering into your, like, where do you think it's going?
My eye?
Yeah, but it's meant to be there.
No. I would
Yes.
rather think about something that's really sad and make myself cry than use eye drops.
You're awake for the whole thing, which is another element that Jeremy just could not do. A lot of times
Define awake.
They'll give you some drugs beforehand.
Like what kind of drugs?
I think Valium is what someone told me last time. I need to be put on a different fucking planet. I wish that they could just knock you out. Like, I wish you could like take a sedative.
I mean, Valium's not an upper.
Totally. But I just feel like my mind is really strong.
You and Moose actually have
I
a lot
know.
more in common than you'd like to admit in that department.
I think that I could blow through that.
Maybe.
Like, I think that I could feel too conscious and freak out.
Yeah.
Okay, best thing ever. Absolutely go for it. Day of, expect watery eyes, headache, and blurred vision. 10 out of 10 would recommend. A little scary, but nothing you can't handle. It's painless. Best decision of my life. Everything went smoothly. It was so quick. That's the other thing. It's like you're on like a fucking conveyor belt. Like,
like
not
15 minutes, right?
But like every patient they go like just boom, 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 boom in like the day. It's wild.
What?
Boom, 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 boom.
I almost feel worse. Like, I don't want to be just one of a number. I want like a half a day devoted to each eye or something, despite the fact that I don't want this at all. And thank God I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, if my vision ever like, takes a turn, I'm going to just take the bad vision.
This whole process took 20 minutes tops. My vision is perfect, no regrets. She said, I'm an anxious person, so trying to keep calm was hard, but the nurses are lovely. Best decision I ever made, quick and easy, highly recommend. I'm also an anxious girly, got it done, great experience.
Okay, what's the worst thing that could happen if you get it?
I feel like we don't talk about this.
The worst thing that could happen is you come out of surgery and go, have you always looked like this? Like, can you imagine like a week later, mid-sex, like you like give me a weird look and I go, oh no.
I'm like, oh, I've made a mistake.
I've made a mistake.
I've made a mistake.
I can see clearly now this isn't going to work for me.
And it's so wild that you have immediate results. They literally come out as you come out from the surgery and you can see immediately. And then you take your meds, you go to sleep, you wake up and just keep up with the eye drops, and everyone says that it is the best.
Start to finish, how long are we talking about?
Literally everyone says, this one, Def take the Valium they offer to calm you down, but it literally took 10 minutes.
No, but like the recovery process. Like how long are you taking drops? What's this whole cycle look like? Is there any prep?
Let's see. I don't think I'd probably get my lash extensions taken off. Yeah, this person just used the drops. This person said, I honestly love waking up every morning and opening my eyes and seeing.
All we need to do is just go watch that last Guardians of the Galaxy one more time where like they're mean to animals the whole time. You won't have lashes left.
That was the saddest movie I've ever seen.
Just watching Rocket just be pushed around.
The other thing that I got a few comments about is that your vision can change with pregnancy. So some people say that you should wait until after you have kids, but that's a really small percentage.
Change with pregnancy.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Bigger boobs, better vision?
Bigger boobs, better vision. You lose the boobs though.
Okay. I don't know like what kind of pizza delivery service we could like use that as a slogan, but that's that to me is. Oh, so you lose the you're right, you lose the boobs.
You lose the boobs.
Oh, but your vision stays.
Oh, okay. This person said would do again, but they have dry eyes and halos around lights at night. I know we have a friend who had that happen as well too.
Those like the floaters?
No, it would be like if you look at if there's a light that's just like a circle, it would have a little halo around it.
Like when you're looking at it?
Yeah, when you're looking at it.
I was gonna say when I look at it and then I'll go away from it, I can kind of see the light still.
No, not that.
Got it.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. But I've got a few doctor referrals and I'm gonna start making some consultations.
You nervous?
Fucking yeah, I'm nervous. I'm getting my goo scooped.
Well, I was like, they were torn between going with no one should be scooping your goo but me, but I don't really want to scoop your goo either.
No, you don't want to scoop my goo. I think while I have the momentum of really wanting to do this, I need to just book it and like do it ASAP. So like maybe get ready for like Vlogmas Day 18. Get ready with me to get my goo scooped.
I mean, I will, my thing with eyes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could be in the room and watch.
I don't know if you actually are allowed to be in the room.
Oh, no.
Fuck off.
Who do I talk to about this?
If you really wouldn't just close your eyes and hold my hand if you were allowed?
I would do anything you needed me to do.
Okay, good.
I would literally help hold the scalpel if you needed me to. Just know that.
Really?
Yeah, but you know that my hand-eye coordination with small movements is.
I mean, I would never ask you to scalpel my goo.
If we were in a situation where your goo needs scalpeled and I'm the only person to do it, we should just call it a day.
We should call it. We should call it. That's the end.
You know what? It's been a good run.
It was fun. It was great. I had a great time. It's been great. So I think that I want to book it ASAP. I think while I have the momentum, I want to do it.
I support you.
Load me up with drugs.
Just a quick slice, and we're all good.
Yeah. So anyways, I gotta figure out which one that I'm a better candidate for, and I also need to get I'm sure they do this, but I need to get like my eyes retested.
Sounds like you need to go on ZocDoc.
I don't know if we have a ZocDoc ad for that. Yeah, not for this ad. Not for this podcast.
Always go to ZocDoc. I'm going to ZocDoc in like a week and a half.
Yeah, I know you are.
I think this is good for you, and I think even in a world where you got to the very day of and decided you didn't want to do it, I think you should still move forward.
Yeah, I'm going to.
You have to. You have to try.
I'm going to.
Have to.
I'm going to.
Yeah, like we told, like this is like your vision.
I know.
Like you're pretty good at like creative visual art things now. Imagine how good you're going to be.
Well, I feel like creative visual stuff for the most part is usually pretty close up, and so I've never really struggled with that portion of it.
Speaking of, my therapist the other day said that ADHD and not being able to visualize things is like a super common thing.
Really?
Super common.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Did you ask about not having intrusive thoughts about like yeeting your stuff, like yeeting yourself off of things?
Like when I look over across the street at a sidewalk of somebody, I'm just like, what if they just got swallowed whole by like the sidewalk?
Yeah.
No, I didn't ask that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we didn't get there.
Okay.
We didn't talk about that. We didn't cover that this session.
Sure. Maybe next time. So anyways, please let me know your experience with LASIK or PRK if you've had it, if you've had your yolk scooped or scalpeled.
Also, for the doctors, because I know there are a few, if anything we said you wanted to add anything to, feel free to hit the comments.
I don't know what you mean, because scooped and scalpeling your yolk, I think is exactly how they teach it at school.
The thing that really like makes me question just about everything is when I see like doctors respond to our comments. I'm like, love the pod, this. And I'm like, really? We're hitting MDs? Like like someone gets out of surgery and listens to us?
That's concerning. You know what? They need to turn their brain off.
Yeah.
They need carcass time.
Yeah.
And we are so happy to be your carcass time partner.
Listen to these two idiots just talk about things.
Just talk about goo.
Yeah.
And say EP.
Ugh. And now EP kind of sounds a little gross to me. In fact, it gives me a little bit of ick.
Really?
I gotta be honest. Yeah, EP.
EP?
It sounds like, it's like baby talk.
It's sleepy,
it's
but
baby talk.
It's EP.
It's baby talk.
It is
you
baby
hate
talk.
baby talk.
Depends what it is. Depends what it is.
If I gave you baby talk often,
yeah, that's not
wouldn't
it.
work.
That's not it for me.
Yeah.
But I still am a little EP. There's this thing happening on TikTok right now, and it's so interesting. And I've been thinking, it's been on my mind for the last couple of days because people have been like weighing in with their opinions. Is girl pretty versus guy pretty?
Color me like excited.
And
tell me more.
It's like the idea, and I pulled some TikToks for that of people who explain it much better than what I'm gonna try and jumble through right now. But it's essentially just like if like the people and the characteristics and the energy of someone that a guy thinks is pretty.
Okay.
And this is for the most part being in like heterosexual relationships for the most part, I think is like based on what I've seen. Versus the characteristics of someone that girls think are pretty.
Oh,
The Venn diagram,
Yeah.
there's not a ton of crossover.
Okay.
Which is so interesting.
Oh,
So like crossover
Yes.
like is like I can think of a few celebrities, and like I don't want to say names because I don't want to be like I don't think that girl is pretty because that's fucked up. But like Sydney Sweeney is someone that we both look at and we're like, wow, that girl is so fucking pretty.
you think so?
Great answer. But there are definitely some celebrity crushes that Jeremy has that I'm just like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. And like not in like a mean way, but they're like, I just like don't see what makes this person a standout person.
Listen,
I guess.
Ed Westwick, I'm sitting here across from you, and last time we had this conversation, I had to remind you who you found attractive.
Okay, but we're talking about girl pretty and guy pretty, talking about girls, okay?
I'm excited.
Different combo.
Where do we begin?
The male gaze versus the female gaze. And when I think about my own taste in women as a bisexual.
Okay, I loved that video and I had to jump in because my friends have a phrase that we use for this and we call it girl pretty versus boy pretty. The creator of the video was talking about how people don't understand Sarah Jessica Parker's beauty because there's this huge joke that she's ugly when she's literally the most beautiful woman ever. And so my friends and I saw this phenomenon happening a lot in college, and like a lot of girls were getting a ton of play, like go off, but we were like, wow, that's not really, she's not very interesting to us. So like, but everyone's like gagging over this girl. And that's when my friend created the phrase boy pretty versus girl pretty. The basis of boy pretty and girl pretty is that the Venn diagram is kind of off. Like women will find a certain woman so magnetic, so beautiful, so interesting, and that's girl pretty. And then boys will be like, yeah, but look at this girl. She's so hot. Or like, this is what we find most attractive. And women will be like, I don't get it. Like, she's beautiful, but like, I don't get energetically or like the aura why you think that. You could say that boy pretty is just men finding conventionally attractive women beautiful and girl pretty is unconventionally attractive women. But it's not exactly that because it goes a little bit deeper. Like girl pretty is often an aura, like she's very, very beautiful, but it's also like in this interesting way that you can't stop looking at. Maybe her clothes are amazing. Maybe she's really good at some talent that is just like beautiful, or she's like soft spoken in a way that is so enticing when she speaks. Like it can be an energetic mix of a ton of things. Whereas often boy pretty is very aesthetic. And while women appreciate beauty and aesthetics, because we appreciate beauty and aesthetics, we can see the depth of some other things. So yeah, a lot of times, sometimes my friends and I will be like, wow, is she boy pretty or is she girl pretty? And then it explains a lot about the level of interaction between that person and society or our circles, like how she moves through the circle. It is so loud in New York, I can't. Basically, boy pretty and girl pretty really says a lot about how you're perceived in the world as a woman because, you know, we're always being perceived and judged and looked at. So once you understand why a woman is looked at a certain way, or people make memes about her having a horse face, it's because, you know, the male gaze can't handle Sarah Jessica Parker, and they probably can't handle you. So
I cannot wait.
What do you think?
I completely agree, because the amount of times that I've like heard a group of friends being absolute fucking savages to girls that like guys just universally find attractive and vice versa.
Yeah.
And like there's no convincing them otherwise.
So you're saying there's a girl that guys think is super pretty, but all the girls do not think is pretty.
That and the opposite situation, and vice, like all the permutations of that, right?
Yeah.
Like very common.
Yeah.
And I also think that there's a level of there's societal like beauty standards, and then there's like the things that are unique about those on top of them that are like, oh, but she has this or whatever. And then there's the things that like, oh, but she's like conventionally just like an all around attractive or not attractive or whatever else. And there are also some people who like obsess over one specific body part or feature. Like you're obsessed with noses. You just are. You notice noses. It's not that I don't see them. I just like, if I'm experiencing someone for the first time, I'm not like clocked in on their nostrils, and like you just do.
Jeremy is so obsessed with this idea. I feel like I just noticed someone's most prominent
she has a good
feature.
nose. She has a good nose. Oh my God, it's a great nose.
Yeah, if someone has a great nose, I'm like, you have a great nose.
When I tell you that before you and me, there's not one time in my entire life where I actively thought about someone's nose being good.
That might just be like a straight dude thing, though. I feel like
I can tell you
girls.
when the noses were bad.
Hey, Wild Til listeners, it is the holiday season, so I want to talk to you about Etsy. If you are like me, you're on a mission to find handcrafted, adorable gifts made by independent sellers. I am a consistent shopper on Etsy, and not just a shopper, but above that, I am an Etsy stan. I am a fan. I am a fan to the core, to the bottom of my heart. I just bought 2 new prints for my office. I bought 3 different pieces of dead stock Spuds MacKenzie Bull Terrier merch, which is incredibly niche. Do not sleep on Etsy for vintage items. Seriously, I was so impressed. My plan to buy 1 t-shirt somehow spiraled into 3 different purchases. I've bought some Crocs charms lately, a Totoro tote, a 3D printed energy drink holder car insert for the drink spot. Literally the most niche purchase ever, and I accredit it all to Etsy. And last but certainly not least, we also got some custom dog ornaments for Donna and Gail last year. The list,
really?
yes, that's where those were from.
Oh, last year, yeah. Oh, those are so cute.
Those are so cute.
Yeah.
The list truly goes on
That was
and
Etsy?
on. Yes, that was Etsy.
Wow.
Don't sleep on Etsy.
I had no idea.
I cannot recommend Etsy enough that if you're looking for something unique and personal as a gift this year, run, do not walk to Etsy.
Whether you're searching for home pieces like cutting boards, linens, and throw pillows for your favorite holiday hosts, or everything that you can put onto a crock like Lauren,
Onto a crock.
or any personalized items like purses, necklaces, and seasonal jackets for your most stylish friends and family, Etsy has it. Etsy has everything for all budgets and any gifting mission.
I also got you a personalized Jeremy decanter with your initials on it.
That was from Etsy
That
too?
was also from Etsy.
Etsy does everything.
Etsy does everything.
But also they do it well.
New to Etsy, use the code HOLIDAY10 for 10% off your first purchase. That's code HOLIDAY10. Maximum discount value of $50. Expires December 31st, 2023. See terms at etsy.com/terms. For handcrafted and affordable gifts for everyone on your list, Etsy has it. Shop etsy.com. Okay, this one's a little more scientific.
I'm a scientist studying human mating behavior, and there is a gap between what men find pretty in women and what women find pretty in women. This has gone viral recently as a folk psychological concept known as boy pretty versus girl pretty. And people trying to decipher this are talking about energies and auras and whatnot. And there's some actual scientific theory worth discussing here. I spoke about related topics with subject expert Dr. Tanya Reynolds, and there are plenty of reasons for women to say that attractive women aren't pretty. Competitor derogation is mate competition 101. We don't want to admit the strengths of our strongest competitors. This is likely why attractive women are victims of tremendous gossip, and why all the boys at your school were annoyed by Justin Bieber and One Direction. To be clear, men do this too. Just think about how males who aren't very pretty react to pretty boys. Second, and this is admittedly more speculative, but heterosexual...
I feel like you see this so often with someone like Madison Beer, who is so fucking stunning.
Madison who?
Madison Beer.
She's attractive?
She is attractive. Jeremy's really, really on his toes tonight.
Okay. So this Madison Beer person.
But I think Madison Beer is girl pretty and boy pretty because I think that she's just like next level pretty.
I'll have to take a look next time.
Great answer.
I'll to you.
But she gets like crazy cyberbullying, and I think that it's just like out of jealousy and like. I was like, holy shit, like, I can't believe there's a specific scientific name, like competitive degradation or whatever he said. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, you see that so often where like the prettiest girl might have no girlfriends.
Right. Oh, I think that's more common than anyone would like to admit.
Totally.
And I also just think it's like this level of, we don't even know why we're being mean. Or like, we don't, like in hindsight, it's easy to look back and go, I don't know why I was so mean about that.
Right.
But in
like,
real time, all you could think about is, they're not that great. Not that great.
Why does every guy want to date her? Why does every guy want to date her? And then she ends up with no friends because all those girls are like.
I mean, back in my growing up in the early 2000s, if you were an attractive man, people just called you gay. They were like they were so like so short-sighted about everything,
right?
And they would just do everything they could to almost be like, yeah, but like I mean, like gay. What?
Yeah. What?
Huh?
How did you get there?
I don't know if we're still there in high school. Haven't spent much time there.
I feel like no.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, no, I think things have changed a
But like, how do we like find the insult that that takes them and like just takes them out of like the competition, as he says?
Right.
That's interesting. Also, great lighting in this video.
Yeah.
I'm a little creeped out by just how perfect the pictures are hung behind him, but you know.
Sexual women won't know what it's like to be attracted to a woman as a man and vice versa. And so it makes sense that when assessing someone's attractiveness, there might be a mismatch in what they're focusing on. This is called a failure of cross-sex mind reading. And again, this happens to men as well. For instance, men generally think that men with tattoos are more sexually attractive, but studies on this show that women don't really care either way, which would have been good to know in high school. Third, and finally, I want to talk about some hard quantitative data on this. One of the most consistent differences between girl pretty and boy pretty is that women put a significantly higher priority on thinness as a component of attractiveness than men do. If you bring people into the lab and say, which of these women has the most attractive body? Women will consistently pick thinner women than men do. And frankly, I don't think you need a study to know this. Just look at the visually apparent difference in BMI and body fat percentage between the models men admire and the models women admire.
Yeah, that last point was so good. I was like, damn.
I do think that, I guess just based off my experiences, women, the comments I've heard from about a woman from a woman about weight far exceed like the level of, I think, just like cruelty and also who the fuck's even thinking about that than like what I've heard about like a dude talk about a woman's weight. Like it's like
right, like girls are meaner
when it comes to weight.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
It's not that I haven't heard like crass, awful things come out of a dude's mouth about women's weight. Of course, and probably quantity times, probably.
Right.
But like, you know, when somebody says something less of like, I'm gonna be mean right now, more like she can't help this. And I'm like, oh,
you're like, damn.
You're just like, you are giving, like, you're summing her entire existence up into like this like nasty, complete thought of it's like, it's gross.
Yeah. I think the value that people put on like weight. I mean, I think that it's so deeply like ingrained in pop culture media of just being thin. You know what I mean? Between obviously like things have shifted so much in culture in terms of like the models that you see now like on websites and in advertising campaigns.
In the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Even just the progress that's been made in the last like 5 to 10 years. And like there's still so much more that like can be done. But you think about like in the 90s and the 2000s, like the photoshopping of just like stick thin models and like
who were already stick thin.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just like the advertising through our childhood and teenagehood and growing up into those years. It's like it was just so deeply ingrained.
Also, like I don't feel like there was space for women who wanted to be strong.
Yeah.
When we were younger.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
Be perceived as pretty.
Yeah.
They would have to like give up a part of.
They'd be like, oh, you're manly. Like you're buff. You're manly.
Like the thought of a woman just being stronger, even just legs than a dude would have been like, could you date somebody that squats more than you? Oh, bro, hell no.
Yeah, right.
Now,
right.
I would be fucking thrilled if you were out squatting me because that ass would be huge.
Would be huge. Yeah. There's also no world where I think just like body size wise that I could ever squat more than you. But I think that social media, you know, although a lot of bad can come with it, what's great about it is that like communities can come together and you're like, oh my God, like so much of my TikTok are girls that weightlift and have strong legs and show you how to squat. And
It goes the other way too, though.
I mean, totally. That's what I'm saying though. But there's a community for so many different niches and like genres of interest. And I think when you find your community who like are also sharing different appearances, I guess. You know what I mean? It's like if what I'm consuming are all strong, muscular girls, and I'm like, this is my idea of like pretty and healthy and like what like is inspiring to me right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously there's a dark side to it as well.
Going back to the visualization thing, I think some people, like myself included, I've never gone to the, like when I'm in the best, like when I think back to being in the best shape of my life, like several times throughout my life, I've like been in shape. I never had an idea for like what I could look like and was aiming for that. It was just like be slightly stronger or leaner or whatever the next day.
Wow, that's so crazy.
Right.
But
And
I think
know
that probably ties into like the visualization thing of it.
But I guess that's my point in the sense that because I never had like a idea what I could look like, I was just like doing it.
Right.
And I think there's a world where if you can find a version of yourself that you'd like to be and in a healthy way, use that as motivation, not as like okay, well, I'll never be as pretty as her. I'll never be as good as her. But it's like, oh, that.
When it's you against you.
Right. And especially when the people who are in your surroundings, maybe no one has your body type or no one looks like you or whatever else, but like the internet probably has someone that does look like you. I think that's probably the positive.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what I've done as well too. Because like there's some girls whose like body composition, I'm like, I just know that my body will never look like that, whether it be in one direction or the other. You know what I mean? It's just like my bones and body composition are literally just not pieced together to ever, you know, have that be a possible outcome for me. But when I see people who are like, you know, look like they might be a similar, you know, build kind of down to like the actual bone structure, I'm like, oh, this is like maybe something that's a little more healthy for me to be consuming because it's realistic.
I mean, when I see dudes who are as tall as me or taller, like doing the things that I just cannot do, like physically.
Well, sometimes when we're watching like UFC or boxing and we see someone who's 6'4", who's 270 pounds, we're like, holy shit, they're the same height as you. Like, that's wild. Yeah. Like, and like you see just like two different bodies that are just so incredibly different.
Francis and I, like, we actually share quite a few characteristics.
Totally.
Yeah. Like that actually is probably a bad example.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think to a degree, until you see it being done, and it's a version of yourself that you can see, for like people like me in particular, sometimes it's like it's not an option. It doesn't exist. But then once you can see it, my therapist the other day, was like, the whole idea is like visualization is key.
Wait, that's so wild. What an asset to not be able to visualize anything.
No.
In some ways, that's so nice. Because I'm like, wow, I can see what my dream butt looks like.
Like I could think about what a good butt would look like.
No, but like
on me,
I just like I can see exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like because I'm so visual, I can see exactly. But if that was just like a blank page, like that sounds really peaceful.
It's not a blank page. It's just more about the idea of what you're doing versus like the goal of what you're doing. That's also why people like, I feel like with my brain, like will take on tasks that are absolute, like there's no business or no reason for them to believe that they could have done it.
Yeah.
Yet they somehow did it or failed miserably.
Because they
options.
can't visualize the.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they can't see all the ways that it could fail at any moment.
Yeah. Okay, I want to take you through the next thing. It's.
Wait, I have questions.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
How does this do you in your mind have a grasp of what attributes you find pretty in a girl? Or boy.
Honestly, like I don't think I do.
Okay.
I think the best way that I feel like I can summarize that is
besides
that
noses.
I look at, I don't know why you're so hung up on that, is that like I think about everyone that I've dated and everyone looks so different.
Right.
Like there isn't like a similar trait or characteristic of every single person that I've been interested in.
Right.
And so like I think that it's harder to pinpoint that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I also think that probably so much of it is subconscious, where I would have to like do like a fucking deep like data analysis to figure out what I actually think.
I also don't think that you could do it. I think like you would be too, like somebody would have to take.
It'd be too hard to like to do it and be fully honest and not have like your I get in the way. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like this is where I wish AI would like, okay, here's my life. Here are the people I've dated. Here are the conversations. Here's everything.
Yeah.
Tell me more about myself.
Right.
Because I wouldn't be able to come to the conclusion without being like, I don't think that's right. What attribute do you think guys get wrong about guys in the way that girls get wrong with weight and women?
Oh, yeah. I think
wrong or worst take?
honestly, I think maybe muscles.
I think it used to be.
I think muscles I think is one narrative that I've actively heard from friends where like a guy will roast the shit out of another guy's like muscles or lack of or whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even really like notice.
I mean, I grew up so skinny, like so skinny.
I grew up really skinny too.
And I was like, I grew up in we were just old enough to get in on the last years of like, you can say anything to someone who's skinny. Anything. And
oh my
like,
God.
You cannot say anything back to it, but like when it is not healthy skinny.
Yeah,
like it's,
no, totally.
It's not good.
I got bullied for being too skinny. Like the amount of times like eat a cheeseburger was said to me.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was,
from coaches, parents, friends.
Parents, friends.
Peer. I mean, like anyone could comment on your weight if you were too thin and you just had to sit there and go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless how much you struggled with it.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's changed.
I think so too. I think like generally like even like being conscious about even saying someone like, wow, you look so good.
Right.
Like insinuating that they look better than how they used to because like things might not be, so great mentally. And that's why physically they may have lost weight. You know what I mean? So I think people are overall just more conscious about like even commenting on anyone's appearance because you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes.
At what age should we start enforcing a class where you have to learn how to give compliments?
Yeah, truly. Well, no, because it's so hard because like I think twice about every compliment I give because I never want it to come off with the wrong intention.
You poor soul. I hear you say that.
Yeah.
And I want to say that's ridiculous. And then no, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Because sadly, a compliment to someone read out of context is mean or could be mean or could be hurtful.
I mean, I think a really great example of mine that is when I looked my most fit, maybe like 2.5 years ago, and my abs were the most defined, is when my anxiety was so bad. It's when like I was crying every other episode on the podcast because I was trying to like figure out my meds and I couldn't leave the house. I was having panic attacks multiple every day. And I was just like having trouble literally eating, which is typically not something that I struggle with. And so I completely stopped drinking. I wasn't going out, so I wasn't like doing anything social. I could like barely eat regular food because I just like felt so ill and off all the times. I had brain zaps and everything was awful. It was the lowest point of my entire life ever. And the amount of comments that I got about my body and about how good I looked. And it was just like, you just don't know. You just don't know.
I'm sorry that those people said you looked good.
I know. And it can be just so damaging because I know that everyone means so well. And
they don't all mean well, but some do.
Some do. Majority do.
Sadly, I think the people who like view it and mean, I feel like the best sometimes don't say anything.
Yeah.
And like, that's okay.
Yeah, totally.
And the ones who don't mean so well, find the time.
Based on science, this is an education podcast.
But at the same time, also, like looks have never been the thing that is the most important to me when becoming attracted to someone.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that like, I have eyes, like, okay, hot. But like, that's never been the thing like, for me, the thing like that tipped the scale. It's always been talent and like passion towards that talent.
Thank God that I'm so talented.
There's the exception that makes the rule. You are talented.
On that note, it's time for me to go perform my talent of being a carcass on the couch.
And being the world's best cuddler to taking puppy.
The best carcass cuddler.
Oh boy.
Oh, I hated that. Yeah, I hated that.
Well, little necrophilia moment.
Okay,
we'll see you guys next week.
bye.
Bye, love you. Love you. Bye.